The CS2 market is about to go crazy. And the reason why is because we are nearing the all-time high area yet again. And typically, if we go back in time, which we'll go back in time real quick and look at the chart, every single time that this has happened, the market has skyrocketed to new highs and the market has gotten even more volatile. So we have to talk about this. We have to address it because right now is probably the best time to be locking in on some great investments. We've talked about them over the last couple weeks. We've been looking at stickers, skins, cases, you name it. And today, well, number one, the CS2 market has reclaimed $5 billion. If we're looking at the all-time high, 5.133 billion, we are hovering just under this at about roughly $100 million away from a new all-time high. And just like I said, every single time, if we go back in history, I know that this is 2023 and it took quite some time to get there, but once we made a new all-time high, we skyrocketed. And even more recently, every single time that we made a new all-time high, the market has gone even crazier. And now, with the market being up in the last 7 days, 3.2%, doesn't seem like much. It seems as though the market is starting to wake up in a big way. And a lot of skins now are really picking up some pace. One of the largest movers during this entire time has really been M4S skins. If you actually look at the M4S market, just right off the rip in the last 7 days, blue phosphor 10+% in the last 7 days. The print stream not too big of a winner here, but the hot rod up 4.45% off of the lows, and just across the board, even AK skins are up in a big way. Some of the most expensive skins in the game are up in a big way. And over here, we do have a post pulled up real quick just to kind of look at the M4S market. Here we have the M4S market just erupting in value. Now, of course, when we think about this, is this market manipulation? Are we starting to see manipulation of certain items in the game? 100%. I feel like we can come to that conclusion very easily, and I think that we could just say, yeah, sure, this is some market manipulation, but we're also bouncing off of the lows. And we know that the market wasn't going to stay this low forever. I mean, if we look at it realistically, we did drop from 1.133 billion down to $4.53 billion. This was the prime time to be really locking in investments. Still, right now, it's not too bad of a time, especially now that we are entering the fall time frame. Typically during the fall into the new year, we see the market just continuing to skyrocket in value. So again, when it comes to this, there's a few factors. Number one, market manipulation. Number two, market bouncing off of the lows. Everyone was looking into buying up, cheap skins, especially the ones that were oversold extremely, even cases as well. And then also on top of that, just the overall market conditions led us to this point that we're at now. Now, the big thing about all of this is over the last couple days leading into this big push in the market, there was a lot of market manipulation. Right off the rip, we had the CS2 Man of War op up 129%. This was the minware, but across the board, there was actually a lot of price action, even with some of the other wares as well. But this was up 129% in 30 days. How sought after is the Man of War op? Not really sought after that much. That's why when it comes to certain items, there was a lot of market manipulation leading into this. Even the Fever Dream was up 70% in the last 30 days. Now, again, looking into this, we could see that this was just a big push in the market that was fueled by, again, more market manipulation. And then also the Evil Geniuses Stockholm 2021 stickers also increased over 5,000+% in the last 60 days. We were watching this closely because, again, this market was just going insane. And even today, we still know that there's more stickers going insane because of complexity leaving. This has led complexity stickers to going parabolic in the last 24 hours as well. And just looking at the sticker market itself, we could see that there's a ton of just outlier moves here for the complexity stickers that have been just going insane. And then the more, general sticker market, again, 600%, 500+%, 400%. I mean, the market has just been erupting around certain items. One of the stickers that we were looking into and more so investing into as well, the RMRs, The RMRs have been doing very good as well from 2020. But I do think that this is going to continue regardless of how we got here. You could say market manipulation, you could say, anything that you want. The main thing that we're looking at here is just how the market looks currently, and it seems as though we are bouncing off the lows. We held a new higher low compared to the low from back in May, and now we're just looking at continuation here to break over the trade revert update all-time high before we drop down. A new, update is probably cooking right around the corner as well, which is going to bring even more hype to CS2. Case openings are going to continue pushing the market even higher. So overall, I mean, this is a great bounce in the market. Again, a solid overall push to almost new all-time highs, which we should be reclaiming that over the next couple weeks. The biggest thing during this time to focus on is still good investments, right? Looking at solid investments that we can still buy for the mid to long-term region. The main thing that I'm looking at during this time is cases still, because even though cases in the last 7 days, a lot of these are up in a big way, right? Weapon case 3s are up 16+% in the last 7 days. Shadow cases almost 14%. Operation Wildfire 10+%. Winter Offensive 6+%. Across the board, we have a lot of 1 to 6% pushes. But again, looking at the 30-day, there's a lot of cases that are down significantly. Now, I know that a lot of people hate me saying, oh, you should buy up some Revolution cases. I still think that the Revolution cases are a very good long-term hold. Yeah, you might have to wait a bit. Yes, do I think that, the Revolution cases are probably going to be the last ones to get taken out of active rotation? Probably. But I still think that they are solid mid to long-term holds that will generate a ton of ROI once we start to see, more cases getting taken out of active pool. Now, you could also make the argument that, the recoil case is also a solid, buy, which I do agree. Again, a lot of these active pool cases aren't a bad idea to just average in over like a year time frame. Even if the prices, slowly go up, I still think that these are very good average buys that we could just buy over a long extended period of time that allows us to accumulate a decent amount of them as well and just lock them away. Beyond that, though, we were also looking at some other cases, like even the Dreams and Nightmares case. And I know that this is still an active pool, but again, with, the Dreams and Nightmare case, it's the same song and dance where, it's a great average investment that we can average in over the year. It has butterfly knives in it as well, which is going to make it a very sought after case long term. So I do think that this is definitely a good one as well. And we've just been talking about some of these cases and, coming to the conclusion that, during this time with them being down still, even on the last, 30 days, which by the way, everyone should be looking at the price action on like the monthly just to kind of see how things are performing, because on the 7 days, some of these cases could still be up in a big way. However, some of them could still be down in a big way over the last 30 days, which is kind of giving us an opportunity to see, how the market's reacting to some of these cases. You could also see the demand as well. There's a few websites that you could look into to see which ones are being opened the most, but I still think that a lot of these cases are still just hovering around their bottom, tier prices. Like for example, glove cases, right? Glove cases in the last 30 days are up 1.49%, but also in the last 60 days, glove cases are still down about 4.5%. And if we look into the glove case over the last 52 weeks, we're down 46% almost from the 52-week high. I know that we're still up about 83% from the 52-week low. But the main thing to look at here is this going to be a case that's sought after long term? I still believe that it's going to be, especially with the golds in it. And if we're looking at the price action on it, this is what I mean, right? If we are looking at the chart, this thing has been pretty flat for most of August, which is telling us that this could definitely be a very strong buy. Even if we look at the last 3 months, right? Back in July, this thing was skyrocketing in value and it just plummeted. Now, why did it skyrocket in value? Well, because you also had a lot of streamers like Nadeshot buying up glove cases and opening them as well just to hunt the golds. But the main thing that we're looking at is just solid buys during this time. The main thing that I would avoid during this time is making any very large purchases around skins, because again, you don't know what could happen next. I still think that the cases are a better investment than skins. However, if you are looking to, buy a red inventory or a blue inventory, now is not a bad idea to, you know, really look into some of those skins that you want to buy, like even the blue phosphor. And I know that I just said that the blue phosphor is up in a big way because again, it is up 10+% in the last 7 days, but the last 60 days it's up about 26% as well. But the main thing about these types of skins is they're going to be extremely rare. So over time, they will just continue to go up and up and up in value. And just looking at the 1 year mark, you could see how crazy the blue phosphor has been. There's definitely some better buys out there as well for M4S skins, but I'm just trying to give you guys an example of, you know, why when we look at skins like this, you know, if you want to have a solid play skin that's extremely expensive and collectible, some of these skins aren't a bad move to just kind of pull the trigger and say, all right, well, you know what? I'm just going to buy this. It's going to be a long-term hold anyways. I like the skin. I'll play with it. So, you know, this isn't a bad buy, but the main thing that I'm looking at here is cases or even some stickers. And I know that a lot of people don't like stickers simply because they think, you know, that it's just one big bubble or that this is like a very highly manipulated side of the market. I still think that a lot of stickers in the game are going to be very collectible long term, especially even the RMR 2020s. I know that a lot of people don't like the RMR 2020s, but I think that they look great in CS2. But beyond that, this is why I do think that the market's about to go even crazier because, again, we are so close to all-time highs. The summer is wrapping up. You know, a new update is probably around the corner. Majors are coming up as well to end off the year. I just think that the market's going to continue to heat up from this point on. And once we make a new all-time high, if we go back and, you know, really kind of just look at the long extended chart real quick, you can clearly see that every single time that we've broken into a new all-time high, the market has just quickly erupted, you know, even higher. So again, I'm still basing this off of just like regular market dynamics and how markets react. I still think that we get the same similar move here as well. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, and turn notifications on. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.